on his own social media that he is retiring for good. Coincidentally, perhaps it comes on the one-year anniversary of the day that he announced his retirement a year ago. And as we have said repeatedly on this desk this morning, it just never felt right last year. If and when you see the video, and I'll play it for you again shortly if you're just joining us, there's no question about it this time. A very emotional Tom Brady making it clear that he is done. We've heard this morning from Teddy Bruschi, his longtime teammate, Rob Ninkovich, another of his longtime teammates. How about one of his longtime foils? I think it is reasonable to say Tom Brady didn't beat anybody in big games more times than he beat Rex Ryan, and I mean that with all the respect in the world. Rex coaching in that division for so many years, and our teammate and colleague now here at ESPN. Rex, when you first saw that this morning, Tom Brady announcing he's stepping away from the game for good, what was the first thought that went through your mind?
My first thought was, good for him. He left this game, on his own. He never needed, his skills. He was still at the top of his game, maybe not the top, but close. And, he did set a NFL record for most pass attempts, most completions this year, and that's how he's going out. But to me, he's without question the greatest of all time that ever played the game. I had the fortune and misfortune at the same time of coaching against this guy more than any other coach. And I'll tell you this, he was an amazing competitor. Not only, a talent and all that, but his competitiveness was unreal. And he would just, he was so hard to beat. And I could just tell you that. His preparation, all the things that went into it, that's the thing that I'll remember most about him. But the thing is, right now he's moving on to another stage in his life, and good for him, man. Good for him. And I kind of wish he would have retired like 20 years earlier. That would have helped me out a hell of a lot. But that was it, man. This was, we're all fortunate to see this. This is the greatest of all time, and we got a lot of great players in this league, and every year they're outstanding. But I don't think we'll ever see another Tom Brady.
Rex, you are yourself, I think in everyone's estimation, one of the great defensive coaches in the history of professional football. You prepared for a lot of great quarterbacks. You put in game plans and got teams ready to play against a lot of great quarterbacks. How would you describe the particular challenge of getting your defense ready to play against Tom Brady?
Well, Greeny, I just think that for so many times, you could move the chess pieces to your advantage. You could bait teams. You could do all that stuff. But if you were going to beat Tom Brady, you had to be at your best, without question. Not even close. The challenge he put on a coach was second to none. And that's what I think of Tom Brady when, I wanted to make dang sure that we were always at our best. I always thought that. But there was something special going against Tom Brady that I knew, like his preparation. There's the only guy I can think of was Peyton Manning that was close to him preparation-wise, and that was it. And if you showed him something one time, you weren't going to get away with it the second time. So that's the way you had to prepare against this guy. And the other thing, though, that you couldn't prepare against was how he elevated his teammates, how he was the toughest damn guy on the field, too. And I think Brew could talk about that as well. This dude was tough as hell and, mentally, physically, and all that. But, man, he was, the durability. Like, he's playing in games that probably nobody else would play in, but he'd still play. He'd find a way. His movement, nobody thinks of him as a great athlete, but his pocket awareness and movement skills, the way he protected the football, it just set him apart, man. And like I say, I was blessed to coach against him, but also unfortunate to coach against him.
Rex, you're the best for jumping in here. Thank you so much, my friend, for sharing your thoughts today. Again, it's a huge day, and no one coached more games. It is actually, it is a literal statistic. No one coached more games against Tom Brady than Rex Ryan did. Let me bring it to the desk here. Let me come to Teddy, because Rex just used a good phrase, elevated his teammates. Now, Teddy, you were on a New England team that went to the Super Bowl before Tom Brady became the quarterback with Bledsoe against Green Bay back in the late 90s, the Parcells team. And then you saw this young kid come in, take over because of an injury, and then the rest was history. How would you describe the way he took over the role of someone who became the leader of that team ultimately, and the way he elevated teammates?
Yeah, well, I saw him grow into it because I think he did. I just had the pleasure of watching him start from day one and who he was when he came in and then who he was eventually becoming an MVP. And he was humble enough when he started out to defer. So it wasn't like, boom, this guy's a leader, you're a top pick, you have to lead the team. He came in after Drew got hurt, and all of a sudden he sees leaders that are already on the team, and he deferred and he learned. I think that's what was brilliant of him, also understanding the situation that he was in, and then turning into the leader that really captured every teammate's sort of motivation onto why he should play. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that he took a vested interest in you as a person. A relationship he would form. He would be sincere about finding out who you were off the field. So he really believed in the people in the locker room and how I can't get you to believe in me or to play with us to win championships if we don't feel together. And the biggest way you can feel together is when you feel like you have a good relationship with the quarterback of the team, so-called. I mean, so it's important. So that was important to him. All the way to when he transferred to Tampa Bay, and then the whole shift on the athlete becoming more, into your phone and into social media. And that's when Tom Brady's social media presence sort of exploded to where all of his teammates, he'd tag them on social media, put them on his stories, everything. That was just his way of trying to include everyone in the locker room. That hey, I'm old, but I'm still with you, and I still understand where you are. That's what leadership is, see? Not really yelling at people, and leading by example is important, but like bringing people together. I think the one word Tom would use all the time, even last year when he retired, and about what was important to him is the word relationship. And the way he formed relationship with all of his teammates was special in a way that brought everyone together, and everyone wanted to play to win a football game.
What an extraordinary blessing it is for us to have Teddy with us today for the first time in months with all of these stories, and those will continue. I see Diana frantically texting, and not freakishly, but frantically texting. What kinds of things are you hearing from people?
I'm just talking to players that are active in the league. They're all just finding out, also coaches and their staffs. A lot of them are at the Senior Bowl right now. And it's pretty much, I had one coach just say, this place is just shut down. Everyone is on their phones right now, just reacting. And I just followed up with, like, is there like a mood? And he said, yeah, it's a little sad. I said, yeah, we were just talking about that on the air right now, that I think the sadness is because I believe we feel that this is actually real, right? I don't think we need to have a discussion of, is he going to unretire? Right. Are we sure? Look, it could happen, right? This is Tom Brady, but this feels like he is ready mentally, emotionally, personally to take that next transition to what he's going to do.
It feels like the NFL flag is flying at half-mast today, you know, with this news. But it's not look, this is not a sad day.
Yeah.
This is a day to celebrate the fact, and you said it multiple times. Most players are told when they're much younger than he is, actually, you are done. You may not realize it, but you're done. This is a day to celebrate a guy who got to do it his way, got to walk away on his own terms. I mean, there's cause for enormous celebration today. Super quickly.
No doubt. I mean, you're right there, G. I mean, think about it. Tom Brady has been an NFL quarterback longer in his life than he hasn't been an NFL quarterback in his life. And this is a player that's had a Hall of Fame career in each of the 3 decades of his life that he's played. He's won 3 titles in his 20s, 2 titles in his 30s, and 2 titles in his 40s. We're not going to see anything like this ever again.
Quickly.
Yeah, I think you try to think of who his rival is. There's so many. And he's been to 10 Super Bowls.
Yep. Right.
He came back from down 28-3. Like, the legend of Tom Brady is real. Like, it's not at this time, we're not like inflating it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real.
I was just around Patrick Mahomes on Sunday, and I was just thinking to myself when I was talking to him, how many times is he going to be at a conference championship game? Tom Brady was in 14 of them.
Yeah.
Think about that number. It's incredible.
All right, I'm going to leave it there for a minute. I'm up against the beginning of a new hour. We have wall-to-wall coverage of this. Again, the audience with us from ESPN and ESPN2. If you haven't seen it yet, we will start the